Hey, it's Katie, and welcome back to my booktube channel. So I'm trying something a little bit different for this video. I am doing my birthday reading vlog, but I'm going to be filming it on my phone. I got a new iPhone a few weeks ago, and I decided it might be a little bit easier for me to do it with this instead of a typical camera. So hopefully it goes really well. But I don't really have too much planned for this reading vlog. This is the week of my birthday, so I'm hoping to do a bunch of fun activities and just read a bunch of books that have been at the top of my TBR for a while. So that's kind of what I have planned. I haven't even really picked the books that I will be reading this week, so you'll be finding out right along with me. But before I dive into the reading portion of this video, I wanted to do a mini book haul because I have bought myself so many books for my birthday. You guys have probably already seen my birthday book haul part 1, so I will link that below for those of you that haven't seen it, but I have 14 books in there that I have ordered online. And then today I went to Barnes & Noble and got 4 books, and then I went to half-priced books for the first time and bought myself 8 books. So I have so many books to show you guys, and I will be doing a birthday book haul part 2, so I'll be explaining more about them, but I'm just going to give you guys a little sneak peek right now. Okay, so like I said, the first place I went to today was Barnes & Noble. So while I was there, I bought Warrior of the Wild by Trisha Levenseller, which was the last Trisha Levenseller book that I did not own. So I am excited to have that now. I also picked up The Dare, which is the 4th book in the Briar U series by Elle Kennedy. I honestly thought it was the first one. I didn't check before I bought it, but it also was the only one that they had from the Briar U series. So I decided to get it anyway, but I will end up getting the rest of the books and reading them in order. I also purchased The Traitor Queen by Danielle L. Jensen, and I am very excited to read that one. I also bought The Bridge Kingdom recently, so I will probably binge the duology. So if you're interested in a reading vlog, please let me know. And then the one I think I'm the most excited about is Neon Gods by Katie Roberts. I love Hades and Persephone retellings, so I'm very excited for this, and it's my first Katie Robert book, so I'm excited to see how that goes. And then after that, I ended up going to Half Price Books, and that was the first time that I went to a physical Half Price Books. Usually I just order things online, and I bought 8 books. So here's all the ones that I bought. We have The Heart of Betrayal by Mary E. Pearson. I read The Kiss of Deception recently and loved it. I found Into the Crooked Place by Alexandra Christo. I got Sky in the Deep by Adrienne Young. Pride, Prejudice, and Other Flavors by Sonali Dev. I don't really know how to pronounce half of these authors' names, so sorry about that. But I also found I Love You So Mochi by Sarah Kuhn. I'm so excited for this one. I love books that take place in other countries. We have The Bromance Book Club by Lissa K. Adams. We have Curse of the Scepter Queen by Jenny Elder Moke or Moki, I'm not sure. And then Crown of Feathers by Nikki Pau Prado, and I literally cannot believe how many books I bought myself. I bought 26 books, so I've decided after this month, because I will probably get some like gift cards to buy books and, you know, some money to buy books. After I do all of that shopping in August, I am not letting myself buy any more books until October, because this is a problem. 26 books in the span of a week or 2 is not okay, so I'm putting myself on a book ban from now until probably November 1st. So we will see how that goes. You guys can try to hold me accountable, but I should not spend any more money anytime soon. So I couldn't really decide which book I wanted to start with for this vlog, and I finally made a TBR jar. So after making the TBR videos for you guys, I wrote the books on slips of paper and put them in this jar, and it's really been helping me this month, and I am about halfway done with my TBR so far, and I think it's really working for me. So I decided to just pick one out of there and start with that. And the book that I ended up getting was A Touch of Darkness by Scarlett St. Clair, and this has been at the top of my TBR for a very long time, so I feel like this is the perfect book to read during the week of my birthday. It is a Hades and Persephone retelling, which I was just saying I love, so this is absolutely perfect. And it also takes place in like the modern world, I'm pretty sure. I think she's a writer, something like that. She's a journalist, and she's supposed to be the goddess of spring, but basically flowers have shriveled at her touch since she was a little girl. So she's not really, great at doing everything she's supposed to be able to do, which I think is really interesting. And Hades is obviously the god of the dead, and he has this gambling empire, and all of his favorite bets are rumored to be impossible. So that sounds really interesting. And I guess there's like this chance encounter, and Persephone ends up in this contract with Hades where she needs to create life in the underworld or she will lose her freedom forever. So that just sounds so cool. I've always loved Hades and Persephone stories, and I cannot wait to pick this one up. Also, I'm pretty sure it has some spice in it, so that's always a plus. Hey guys, it is literally days after I filmed that first clip. That first clip I filmed Monday night, and it is now Friday. So it's been a very long time, but I've been very busy doing birthday things, so I haven't really had much time to read. But I finally started A Touch of Darkness. I'm now 177 pages in. I read all of that today so far, and I am loving it. I'm honestly kind of sad I didn't read it sooner. It's so good. I think I already explained it in the first clip, but I love that it's a Hades and Persephone retelling. I'm obsessed with that story, and this is not disappointing. It's done so well. I love the banter between the two of them. Their relationship is so interesting because they obviously don't really get along, and it's interesting to see them argue and all the sexual tension and everything. So I'm loving that. Also, just the world building in general is so cool because we have all of these gods and goddesses that we've heard about. If you've learned anything about mythology, you'll recognize a ton of these names, but it's in modern day. You're just living your life. You go to a coffee shop and you bump into a god, and that's so interesting to me. I love the way this world is set up, and I just can't get enough of it. And honestly, if you guys have ever read any webtoons, it reminds me of Lore Olympus because that also follows Hades and Persephone. I haven't read the whole thing, but I've read a decent amount of episodes of that. So it kind of reminds me of that. And I know Lore Olympus is being turned into a physical graphic novel pretty soon. So I will definitely have to get that. But that's a little off topic, but I'm loving these Hades and Persephone books. So if you have any other Hades and Persephone recommendations, please let me know in the comments. I would love that. I am literally obsessed with this book right now. I love that it fits the touch her and I'll kill you vibes, and it's just so fun, and I'm loving all the mythological references and everything. It's just really good. I haven't really gathered my thoughts because I've just been flying through this, but definitely loving it so far. Sorry it's been 4 days since I have vlogged anything, but like I said, really busy with birthday things. I went out to dinner with my family, my fiance, and then I also went out with some friends. I went to Dave & Buster's, played so many arcade games, so I definitely had a great time for my 22nd birthday. Totally worth it. But now hopefully I will have some more vlog footage for you guys coming up, but I'm going to see how much more I can read tonight, and I will probably update you guys tomorrow. It is now Saturday, and I did actually end up finishing A Touch of Darkness last night, and I really enjoyed it. I think I gave it 4 stars. For a little bit, I considered giving it 3.5 stars just because I have read a ton of books I really loved recently, and I don't think this one was my favorite out of all of them. But in terms of a Hades and Persephone retelling, I did really enjoy this. I feel like my favorite element by far were all of the gods and goddesses that we got to meet and all the references to like the different rivers and things in the underworld and all these things that I learned about in my mythology class that I was really excited to see come to life in this world. I feel like the world building was definitely amazing, and I loved watching all of these gods and goddesses interact in a world like our own. I feel like that was such a cool experience, and like I said, definitely my favorite part. I also did enjoy the romance. There is some spice, obviously, and I definitely enjoyed it. I appreciated that it was like a slow burn, kind of an enemies to lovers, but like not in like the typical sense that I usually go for, but it was also really well done, and I did enjoy the romance. And I know this is part of a series, but I feel like this book kind of had a good ending. It sort of wrapped things up, so I might not continue the series, even though I enjoyed this, because I have read some reviews of the rest of the series, and they're kind of mixed. A lot of people feel like the rest of the series kind of just gets rid of the plot, and it's just all smut, which is enjoyable for some people, but typically I do like there to be at least some kind of a plot. So, I might pass on those, especially because of the types of smut people were talking about. I don't know if that's really for me, so I might just, have a soft spot for this book in my heart and just kind of end the series there because I did enjoy the way it ended. So yeah, I gave this one 4 stars. I don't have a review on Goodreads yet. I will by the time this is uploaded, so you guys can check it out. My Goodreads is always linked below. But at this time, I have not gotten around to write the review yet because I was tired last night. But I did choose my next book. I finally decided on Punk 57 by Penelope Douglas. I'm really excited for this one because I feel like it's been on my TBR for a while, and I have read one Penelope Douglas book before. It was Corrupt, and I actually listened to the audiobook, so I'm excited to see how my reading experience differs now that this is a physical copy instead of an audiobook. But I'm really excited. For those of you that don't know what this book's about, let's see if I can explain it well, because I feel like I always make this one confusing. But we have our 2 characters who were paired up in, I think, 5th grade as pen pals, and it's because their names are Misha and Ryan. So one teacher thought they were both girls, another one thought they were both boys. So even though it's a girl and a boy, they got paired up for this pen pal assignment. And they've been pen pals ever since, and they've never met in person. They've never talked on the phone or interacted through social media. The only way they've ever interacted is through their letters to each other. And so one of them I think the boy ends up transferring to her school and meeting her in real life, and even though they get along so well through their letters, he ends up hating who she is in real life, and so he stops writing her letters, and she has no idea what happened and why he stopped communicating, but she is like desperate to find out. So that sounds like such a cool plot. I love the idea of pen pals, and I'm sure we're going to have a lot of letters included in this book, and I'm really excited. I am like 10 pages in right now, and I'm really enjoying it so far. I feel like the writing is more my style compared to A Touch of Darkness. I immediately gravitated toward the way it was written. So I am excited to see what happens in this book and see if I enjoy more Penelope Douglas books as well. And then the last thing I want to tell you guys before I get back to reading Punk 57 is some of the books that I got from my family for my birthday. I always try to send them a list of ones that they can easily find at Target or a bookstore if they walk in and just see what's on the tables, because I feel like they're not good at really looking through entire bookstores to find the books I want. So I gave them some pretty easy ones to find, but I'm still so excited because these are ones I've been wanting for a while or just haven't really had the time to get my hands on. And the first one is People We Meet on Vacation by Emily Henry. I loved Beach Read, and I'm so excited to have my hands on this one. I know it's been probably all over Book Talk and BookTube and just everywhere in bookstores because it's so popular, but like I said, I loved Beach Read, so I have really high hopes for this, and I'm really hoping this is a 5-star read for me. And then I also got 2 thrillers. I got A Good Girl's Guide to Murder by Holly Jackson. This has obviously been out for a while, but I haven't had a chance to read it yet, and I'm so excited. I've only really read one thriller before, and it was All Your Twisted Secrets, and I really enjoyed it, so I'm excited to dive back into that genre. And on top of A Good Girl's Guide to Murder, I also got One of Us is Lying by Karen M. McManus. I don't know why her name takes me a second to say, but that one sounds really cool too, and that one actually does remind me of All Your Twisted Secrets, so I feel like I might start with that one just to get me back into the thriller genre and then move over to A Good Girl's Guide to Murder. But I am going to get back to reading Punk 57, and I will see you guys soon in my next update. This is just a quick little tidbit, but I read a little bit more of Punk 57, and we got to see some of the characters from Corrupt, and it was really fun. I'm really glad I read that one first because we got to see Will, Kai, and Michael, and I feel like I'd be really confused if, you know, these characters were just thrown in there and I didn't really know who they were, but it was like a fun little moment that I remember them from Corrupt. So I don't know, I just wanted to let you guys know. I thought it was really cool. Hey guys, I'm going to keep this short because I have some taquitos to eat for dinner, but I finished Punk 57 and I gave it 4 stars. I really enjoyed it. The writing was definitely more up my alley than A Touch of Darkness. I really appreciated the way the characters were written. I feel like Ryan and Misha were very realistic and like it was raw and honest because, you know, I feel like a lot of times we have a heroine that's like perfect, or I don't really know, like they're just really great at everything, or they don't seem like they're easy to connect with. But I felt like both our characters were dealing with a lot, and they both made a lot of mistakes, and watching them work through that and kind of correct their mistakes in the future and heal from that was just really interesting, and I really enjoyed watching that happen. One of my favorite parts of the book was definitely the fact that Misha was in a band, and so he was constantly writing lyrics, and by the end of it there were a couple like full songs that we really got to see, so I thought that was really fun, and I enjoyed this book a lot more than I was expecting to, so I definitely think it deserves 4 stars, and you should definitely give it a chance. And again, we got another reference to a character from Corrupt, which was really fun. That was like more toward the end. And there's also a plot twist at the end that I did not see coming, and it caught me off guard. But obviously, that's a sign of really great writing. So I'm really tired. I'm going to finish my dinner, and there might be another book in this vlog. We will see. But if I am going to read something, I think I'm going to read Vicious by LJ Shen. It is now Sunday night, and today was a really long day at work, so all I really wanted to do was come home and read Vicious by LJ Shen. So I'm about 100 pages in, and I'm really enjoying it so far. If you guys don't know what this book's about, it's the first book in the Sinners of Saint series, and basically this takes place, I don't know how to explain it. Like, some of the chapters take place 10 years ago, and some of the chapters are in present day. And 10 years ago, our main girl character, Amelia, her and her family moved into the like mansion that Vicious lived in and was basically like their help. And he hated her from the beginning and kind of made her life really terrible, and they definitely did not get along and hated each other. And now 10 years later, she's living in New York City as like a starving artist, and he is the CEO of this company, and he comes to New York and they bump into each other again, and now he is kind of like refusing to not have her in his life. So it's definitely very interesting. It reminds me of like sort of like the mafia books that I would read on Wattpad. I don't know why, it just kind of gives me those vibes. But I am really enjoying it. I feel like there's some things that he says though that are really like rude, and he's kind of a jerk, but I am definitely enjoying the book. Like I said, it reminds me of Wattpad, so I'm always a sucker for books like that. I don't really have too many thoughts about it yet because I'm still kind of learning about the characters and about the whole plot idea, but I think I'm enjoying it. I still can't get past this cover. I really hate covers that have shirtless men on them because I don't want to include them in videos, for one, because I feel like my family's gonna watch it and be like, what are you reading? But also, they're not pretty. Like, I wish it was a better cover, so that's just my opinion. But I am having a good time here after a terrible day at work, and I have my little reading buddies with me. So yeah, I will see you guys soon while I read some more of this book. Okay guys, it is now like 4 or 5 hours later. It's Sunday night. It's about a week since I started this vlog, but I finally finished Vicious by LJ Shen. I don't know why I said finally. I read this in one day, but I still really enjoyed this. I think I'm going to give it 4 stars because I really enjoyed it, but I don't really know if I'll end up rereading it. So if I don't think I'm going to reread it, I can't give it 5 stars. But I really enjoyed it. It was really interesting because Vicious was definitely a messed up, like, tormented character. So even though I was really drawn into the story, there were obviously moments that seemed very toxic and unhealthy. So I definitely feel like you need to be at least 18 to read this book just to make sure that you can distinguish the moments that are not very healthy. But that doesn't mean that I'm not a sucker for romances like this. It has a lot of elements of the I hate everyone in the world, especially you trope, and also like the workplace romance trope. So if you're into either of those, this is definitely for you. And it's just, I don't really know how to describe it. This kind of feels like a guilty pleasure book because, like I was saying earlier, it reminds me of a lot of books I would read on Wattpad. So it takes me back to that. And I definitely think I want to continue this series because I like the vibe of all of it. And it was a pretty easy read for me. I feel like I really needed this today after a hard day at work. So I know this isn't a very like thought out review, but I literally just finished it, so I don't have my thoughts together. So if you want a full review, please check out my Goodreads, which is linked below. I will have a full review of this book and all the other books I talked about in this vlog. But yeah, so that's the end of my birth week. Or my birthday week vlog, whatever I'm going to end up calling this. But I hope you guys enjoyed watching me, talk about all these books I read this week. I really picked some good books, I think. I had a great time. This vlog was probably all over the place, and I feel like I was like a mess in all of these clips, but I am trying my best to vlog things for you guys. Hopefully you had a good time because I know that I did. If you have suggestions for how I can make these vlogs better, please let me know in the comments. I would really appreciate it. And if you liked this video, please subscribe to my channel and click the notification bell so you know when I upload next. Thank you guys so much for watching. I can't wait to see you in my next video.